All right, everybody, please welcome Donn Roach. Donn is currently a pitcher with the Uni-President Lions of the CPBL. Donn, thanks for taking the time.
Oh, no problem, man.
So before we talk about your time in Taiwan now, can you tell us a little bit about your baseball journey? Because I understand you've played in just about every league, and now you're in the CPBL for the first time. What's the journey been like?
Yeah, it's been a good one. I've been able to play professional baseball for the last since 2010, so I think this would be my 11th year if you count 2010. And it's been great. Not what I expected, or obviously, but I've loved every minute of it. I was drafted by the Angels in 10. Then went through pro ball, made it to the big leagues with the Padres in 14. And then the Cubs and Mariners in the years after that. And then, I was designated and claimed a bunch of times. I think I've played on 10 or 11 pro teams just from the waiver claims. And then, I went to Korea for a year, came back to the States, went back to Japan in the middle of the year. And now, I'm here in Taiwan.
Yeah, I saw just kind of looking at your baseball reference page. There's a lot of movement, a lot of different games. So tell me, what's the gameplay been like so far? You've had a couple of games now in the CPBL. What's the biggest difference between baseball overseas in the KBO in Japan and now in the CPBL compared to Major League Baseball?
I would say the huge separator is really defense. I would say the defense in the major leagues, it's really unbelievable what those guys do. The plays they make look easy, is really incredible. Pitching as well. The arms in the major leagues nowadays are, for lack of a better word, unbelievable. They really are. Everyone's throwing 95 to 100 now, and that's just kind of rare to see anywhere else in the world.
Yeah, and you've had some great defenders behind you, Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, when you were with the Cubs, and now Baez, the whole group, and now turning your attention now to kind of the culture around baseball. You've seen it all. How is the culture surrounding baseball? I know it's slightly different now in Taiwan under COVID, but before that, what was the culture? Because I understand there's a lot of cheering, a lot of dancing. How is that different than Major Leagues?
Yeah, so I've heard comparisons that it's more of like a Euro soccer game, where they're chanting and cheering. They even have, they have cheerleaders on the dugouts here, and a cheer master. It's a guy who just you'll have a section of the crowd that's just the cheering section. So they're doing chants. Each player has their own song that they're chanting every time they're at bat. It's pretty impressive. So, some teams even have scissor lifts that bring them up, 20, 30 feet in the air, and they're conducting the crowds. It's pretty cool. They get into it. They really love it.
And now under COVID, coming to Taiwan, what's your experience been like so far? Have you been tested? Do you have to get tested daily? What's your experience like with that?
No, so there's been no testing at all for us personally. But there hasn't been a case of COVID transmitted within Taiwan in a while now. Most of the cases have been people coming in, or there was a Navy ship that had some cases on it about a week ago. They're very cautious with everything. Everyone's wearing masks everywhere. They're taking your temperature daily is what we've been doing. So you come into the ballpark, you get your temperature taken. If you go on a road trip, before you get on the bus, you get your temperature taken. Anytime anyone's had any sign of any symptom, they immediately take them to the doctor. I've had to go twice for allergies, and they just were making sure. I had to get x-rays on my chest to make sure I didn't have pneumonia or anything, which I didn't.
Wow.
They just gave me some antihistamines and I was fine. But yeah, they're just very cautious with everything here.
And then how does that impact your kind of daily life? Are you exploring the city a lot? I know you've been in Korea and Japan, so I'm sure you've seen a lot of other culture, but have you kind of surrounded yourself in the culture of Taiwan and tried different places and get around seeing the sights?
That's the one thing I've tried not to do is go out too much. When I first got here, before COVID, was rampant, or we knew how bad it was, I would go out a little bit to, some food places. They have night markets here that are just they're almost like carnivals, with a bunch of street food and stuff. So I went to those once or twice, but since the epidemic has grown, I've tried to just play baseball, stay at home, not good. Still go out and eat once in a while, but
not a lot.
Stay,
it's not,
try to limit it as much as I can.
And then I wanted to ask about kind of a new favorite food. Have you discovered anything new, or are you kind of just sticking to what you would eat in America? What's kind of been your new favorite food if you have one? And is there any food that you're specifically missing from the States?
It's the city we're in, Taiwan. It's actually very fortunate. They have a lot of like really good food here and international food. Yeah. The one thing I really missed when I was in Japan was Mexican food. They didn't really have, and if they did, it wasn't done right. Uh-huh. And I've actually found a couple places here that have actually done really good Mexican food. So that's been great. The Taiwanese food is actually pretty good. Beef noodle soup is really good. Beef noodles, really good. I've had some weird stuff. Had this like jellied egg. It was almost like a hard-boiled egg, but it was see-through. I'm not sure how they make it.
Was it good though?
It was okay. It had some sort of sweet sauce on it. It wasn't bad. Just looked weird. Yeah, but the food's pretty good. They have this. I can't remember what it's called, but it's an Taiwanese pancake with egg and chives in it. And sometimes they'll put a little pork in it. Yeah, it's really good. I think it's like a traditional either Chinese or Taiwanese dish. Yeah.
And you mentioned not going out a lot, but when you did, do you have a translator? Do you have an app? What's kind of the language barrier like when you're out and about for the few times you are?
A great amount of people here actually speak some, if not a decent amount of English.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have Josh Renicky, who's been here for several years too, so we've asked him for advice. I'll look on websites, best things to do in Tainan or Taipei. Google Maps works here, so that's a big help, and they have the rating, the reviews on there. So it's really not too difficult to find things to do or places to go. I really like food and like to eat, so I'll try. I'll go on Google Maps and look up a certain food and see what the best ratings are and try that out. So there's not really a huge barrier. Sometimes you kind of get stuck when you're trying to get a taxi or something. You're trying to explain to the guy where you want to go and he doesn't know.
I can imagine.
It's just part of it. It's really not that bad. It happens once in a blue moon.
And you mentioned hanging with Josh, and we've talked to some other guys in the CPBL. What's your experience been like interacting with the other foreign imports? Do you guys hang out a lot? Do you at the field? Do you not? Do you text, communicate? What's the interaction with? Because I can imagine with your other teammates, is there a language barrier kind of socializing on the field and off?
Yeah, so definitely at the field, we talk to the Taiwanese guys, we hang out, we crack jokes. It's all kind of surface level stuff. The most you can do based on how much English they speak. We have two guys who actually played in the States before and speak a good amount of English. So we talk to them a lot. The other guys too, but it's just like, hey, nice home run last night, or oh, you messed up that play. Did you get him next time? And all the American guys, we hang out all the time, we talk all the time. Both the guys on my team, Josh and Ryan, are great guys. I play with Ryan in Korea, so I've known him for a while. And then even guys on other teams, whenever we play their teams, we go and talk to them, hang out with them when we're in the city. It's a nice little community you kind of create when you're a foreigner playing in any one of the Asian baseball leagues.
And speaking of foreigners overall, Manny Ramirez has been in the league before. Now he's rumored to potentially want to make a comeback. What would it be like facing him? I know you've faced some pretty good hitters in your time with the Cubs and in the pros here in the States, but what would it be like facing him at 48 years old? You think he still got it? You think you can strike him out?
Probably. I actually faced him in Winter League in 2014 when he was in the Dominican. I think he grounded out against me. I think he did. It'd be really cool, man. I grew up watching Manny. He's one of the best hitters of all time, numbers wise. Yeah, I would love it. I'm sure my dad would love it. My dad was a huge Dodgers fan when he was playing there. So it'd be cool to be able to face him.
I think the leagues overall is getting a lot more coverage, and I think it'd be pretty cool to see him make a comeback.
Yeah, I would.
Now. And one last thing kind of about the gameplay overall. Has there been any restrictions on terms of your habits in terms of high-fiving or spitting in the gameplay specifically? Because I imagine as a pitcher, you kind of a creature and animal. You spit, you rub your head a lot. Is there any sort of restrictions now that have made you like, really consciously think, oh, I can't spit, I can't high five, anything like that?
Yeah, so they haven't done anything about high fiving, but the spitting thing, yeah, I actually got an official warning from the league after my last. Yeah, I'm bad about it.
Donn,
yeah,
come on.
I'm really bad about it. It's a nasty habit, anyways, and I need to break it. But yeah, no spitting on the field at all. I can't remember what the fine is. I haven't got a fine yet, just a warning. So yeah, they've cracked down on the spitting. That's about the only warning, And when we travel and stuff, we have to wear masks on the bus, things like that. But on-field play, that's been the only thing that they've cracked down on.
So for the most part, you're able to kind of just keep your routine, kind of keep what you've been doing.
And yeah, no spitting. No like seeds or anything either. No anything that you'd spit out. It's kind of the same thing.
And last question here, just to kind of wrap up. ESPN, they are low on content. I think they're airing ESPN The Ocho right now. But if there's rumors that they want to acquire the broadcasting rights and potentially move the time to make it align with Eastern time, do you think you could play at 8 a.m? We've talked to a lot of guys. They don't think they could do it with the pitching routine, the body, and this certain rhythm. But you think you could do it or no?
Yeah, it'd be tough, man. I know in the minor leagues when you have those 10 and 11 a.m. kids games, it's rough then. I couldn't imagine 8 a.m. Yeah, I think it'd be really hard on the players and for the players. And for them, I don't know what benefit they would get out of being on ESPN in the States,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure if that would work. It would be cool, honestly, for fans in America to have something to look forward to expose the league, to more places. Yeah, but playing at 8 a.m, man, that'd
tough
be
too much. That'd be too much of a throwback to the high school days.
Oh man, yeah, when you're playing 4 games in a day. Yeah,
rough stuff. But Donn, thanks for taking the time. Really appreciate it. Talking a little bit of CPBL and your baseball journey. Now being one of the few baseball players playing professionally right now with everything going on. So best of luck and hope you stay safe during this time.
Thanks, Sam. Nice talking to you.